I do not want to play a video related to this. I've seen it, but it is a guy using some of the most remarkably disgusting language for Haitian immigrants that I could imagine. Now, it could be that this guy is just a flat racist. He's a racist all the time. He's sick with this particular sin issue because racism is a sin issue. It is hating thy neighbor, direct contravention to what God teaches. We're to love our neighbor as ourselves. In fact, we're to love our enemies. I understand the man's frustration. And in this case, his animus racially seems to be aimed at Haitian immigrants. But I bet if you asked him about Asian people or black people in general, he seems like a racist through and through dude. So I don't want to play his video because I don't want him to be seen. He's part of a 30-minute stretch of video of people in Springfield, Ohio, who are saying how disruptive the Haitian immigrants have been to Springfield, Ohio. If you are sick, and you'd have to be, to want more racial violence or to want racial violence, here's the thing you could do more of. Do more events like this, where you utterly disrupt a community by bringing in outsiders. It's not the color. The color may make them more identifiable in Springfield, Ohio. It's the activities, it's the culture. If you're truly sick and you want this to happen, you want racial violence, here's some things you can do. We'll talk about this. If you are sick and you have something like neuropathy, then the numbness in your hands, and that can get so bad, or carpal tunnel, and you have difficulty opening and closing your hands, having no grip. You can have carpal tunnel-like syndromes in your feet and your ankles, where you have real difficulty walking. You're probably being told that here's what has to happen. We need to get you in an operating room and open up your arm or your ankle, and we need to scrape your tendon, the tunnel through which your tendon travels. So that will free it up, and you're good to go. Do you want to be cut open? Or would you rather have a needle put in your arm, a needle you will barely feel, spend time in a hyperbaric chamber, which is really just sitting and watching TV as a massive amount of oxygen comes in and drives healing to your body? There's a way with the inflammation. Would you like to do this in a beautiful resort-like setting in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, where you have lovely meals and sit on the beach when you're not getting treatment? Or do you want to get cut open? Go to renew.healthcare. Renew.healthcare, and they will look at your medical records, they'll interact with your doctors, and they will determine if they can help you. This is with ethically gathered stem cells, just so packed with potential. Ethically gathered meaning no abortion, no fetal cells whatsoever, only from umbilical cords and stem cells, period. And the strain I use, I've been there twice, the strain I use comes from a source that was never touched by the modified RNA injections. The stem cells fight inflammation, and then they go about rebuilding tendon, muscle. It's not just carpal tunnel or neuropathy. It's things as serious as lower lumbar, and you can no longer move your hips. You can't walk. I've seen results of people who were hemispherically paralyzed, half their body paralyzed. They went in a wheelchair. They walked out of Renew. Please tell them that you're a member of the podcast family or the Todd Herman Show radio show families. Go to renew.healthcare. It's RENUE.healthcare, and they'll tell you if they can help you. There was an official estimate from the Armed Services Committee back in the day about mass migration from Haiti into the United States of America. They seem to be concerned about something.
So what's the difference between Haiti and a failed state? It's telling, right? We can't really identify them because the gangs are in charge. The government has been thrown out. And as a Florida man, I'm deeply concerned about this wave of people that we're about to have, that we are having, coming from Haiti, and it will accelerate. Because I've gone to Opelika and I've spent time with the folks that are engaged in Operation Vigilant Sentry, and they say the number one push factor that drives these Haitians into Broward County, Palm Beach County, where they don't disperse throughout the country, they stay in Southeast Florida, that driving factor is the deterioration of conditions in Haiti. So what are we doing to prepare for that wave and to ensure that these people are not paroled into the United States as the administration has done with people on the southern border, but instead are repatriated back at the dock at Port-au-Prince?
These are military officials.
Congressman, we're doing a number of things to ensure that we're keeping track of the situation and we're prepared. At the moment, we have not yet seen large numbers, what we would characterize as a maritime mass migration. But we are alert to that.
Mass migration, though.
We are alert to that possibility. I think you're right that the driving conditions in Haiti could very well press more people. So we've recently approved some additional assistance that we can provide to the Coast Guard. I think that has now fully been approved. We'll be providing notifications if we haven't already to provide additional shipboard assistance.
Because I've talked to the Coast Guard, and what they say would really support them would be more naval vessels, would be DOD support. And because I think you correctly said that there is an anticipated mass migration here, there are specific legal authorities that we can access that I would implore you to access. Specifically, George W. Bush signed Executive Order 13276. And in that executive order, there is the ability for any president to designate an anticipated mass migration and then get gray hull naval vessels into the Straits of Florida to deter that migration and then to repatriate those people before they get to Florida.
But equity indicates we can't do this. Haitians should be able to live anywhere we do because equity. So does profit. If you want racial animus, take a town of 60,000 people, bring in 20,000 newcomers, and let them take jobs that were never advertised to its citizens there. That happened. Let them have benefits that are not available to the citizens there. That's happening. Let them, with these benefits, go and rent houses at above market prices, driving other people out of the rental market in the city they live. Do that. Now, it's a sad fact that there are going to be people who make this a race issue. That's going to happen, but it's not based upon race. That will be an excuse. It will be an outcome. But it will be a response to watching their cities changed without their control, without their permission, overnight. And we cannot, and I beg you, do not hate the migrants. Please don't do that. We have to love our neighbors. We have to love our enemies. Jesus said so, but we can hate the system that's setting this up, that's going to cause racial violence. The statements at city council meetings, desperate citizens describing Springfield, Ohio.
I live at 426 Northwestern Avenue. Miss Skinner, who I'm not trying to put on the spot, is my neighbor.
Just talk to me, ma'am. Thank you so much.
And I'm done with what I'm seeing. It is so unsafe in my neighborhood anymore. I have the homeless that were trying to camp out, and I have made concessions with them, and I try to help them the best I can to keep them from trying to squat on my property. But it is so unsafe. I have men that cannot speak English in my front yard screaming at me, throwing mattresses in my front yard, throwing trash in my front yard, and I can't. Look at me, I weigh 95 pounds. I couldn't defend myself if I had to. My husband is elderly, and last night, after living in this home for 45 years, he said, Noelle, guess what? It's time to pack up and move. He said, we can't do this anymore. He said, it's killing both of us mentally. I don't understand what you expect of us as citizens. I mean, I understand they're here under temporary protected status, and you're protecting them, and I understand that our city services are overwhelmed and understaffed, but who's protecting us?
Good question. Who is protecting you? No one. Equity. It's equity. Now, she didn't say a racist thing. I don't think she has any race intent in this, but you take a situation like this, you are going to reduce a bunch of people who are going to say this is a race issue. You're going to cause the sin problem of racism to grow. I didn't pull the video, but there's this 30-minute long interview series with people in Springfield, Ohio. Guy says, yeah, we've lost a bunch of cats. A van pulled over. It had 100 cats in it with Haitians. I watched them get pulled over with the cats and admit to the police they were eating them. I can play the video. I guess I should have pulled it, of a woman being arrested for eating cats. Why would people possibly believe President Trump when he says such an audacious thing? Because people are watching people say it. But the city manager, David Muir, made this point during the debate as he was arguing on behalf of Kamala Harris. The city manager said it's not happening in Springfield, Ohio. The same city manager that has this situation being not managed. So trustworthy. I played this earlier. It's worth repeating. This guy's a YouTuber. And he's just out making videos and found himself driven to go to his city council and testify.
I think it's like kind of odd that like a guy like me has to come out from doing what I do on a daily basis to have fun because I see what's going on in these streets and I see you guys just sitting up there in them comfy chairs and suits and I'm getting out here every day and I'm broadcasting this and you guys are just sitting up there in suits or something. Like I really challenge you guys to get out here and do something. These Haitians are running into trash cans. They're running into buildings. They're running into, they flipping cars in the middle of the street. And I don't know how, like, y'all can be comfortable with this. Like, I don't know, like, who's getting paid from this. I honestly feel like someone's getting paid from it in the background. You got a bunch of people on a bus getting dropped off at a gas station to come down here. I know a single mom that FaceTimed me this morning at the welfare office that really need something. And it's nothing but immigrants over there. And I don't even want to, like, seem like I'm coming down on the immigrants because it's the people that's bringing them down here. Because wherever they're at, that's what they're used to, bro. They're in the park grabbing up ducks by their neck and cutting their head off and walking off with them.
So he's just saying this because he's a Donald Trump supporter and a racist. He's a black man. That's his home. If you want more racial animus, do this more often, and you will get it. And look, there's that saying. The amount of racism they need, they don't have. So they need to produce some, which gives the opportunity for Maxine Waters to get back on TV and say this is all about, well, I mean, that last guy, he's black, but clearly white adjacent mentally.
Well, let me just say this, that Haitians have been the victims of, not only our country, but Canada and France for years, historically. They're black, they're poor. It's the poorest country in the hemisphere. They have been exploited, and it continues all the time. They are not, it does not appear that they are seen in the same way that they see others. Haitians have been the victims because they were the first country to fight off, the repression of France. And, of course, France have made them pay a big price for it. Yes, I think they're treated differently because they're black, because they are Haitians, and because traditionally they have not been treated as human beings.
They are trapped on a prison island. Haiti, which is a fallen state, both governmentally and spiritually. And I could play for you, but I don't want to. The video of a guy in Haiti showing how to properly skin a cat and eat it. Desperate people will eat cats. They'll eat dogs. Some cultures, they eat dogs out of enjoyment. Some cultures, they eat monkeys out of enjoyment. Desperate people will do this. Why is Haiti so desperate? Could I offer a guess? It openly worships evil entities. It openly engages in this. God can't possibly bless that. What partnership can light and darkness have? We can't blame the immigrants. We could look at this as a sin issue. We can treat them with love and respect, but we cannot allow massive, and purposeful disruption like this, all under the guise of equity.